Well, now you guys can stop asking when the Infinity Train video is coming. Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here, and I suck. Back during the great HBO Max purge of 2022, I made a video promising that I would do a TV log on one of the biggest casualties of said purge, Infinity Train. Flash forward 3 months later, and it took someone threatening to unsubscribe for me to finally get off my lazy ass and review it. I am part of the problem. And look, it's not like it was, for a lack of interest or anything like that. It's just, I'm one person and the show is so dense and complex that, I wanted to take it all in properly and, do it justice, and, a bunch of other real life things started getting in the way. But anyway, after months of delays and patience from you guys, which I genuinely appreciate, I'm finally going to be doing a TV log on Infinity Train. This is the Cartoon Network, HBO Max, whatever other studio decides to pick it up in the future, animated series created by Owen Dennis. The best way that I can describe this show is that it's an anthology-ish, which means it follows a new set of characters with a new story each season, but it all takes place in the same location and ties back to an ongoing story and a continuing mystery, if that makes any sense. Each season centers around the new group of people, or passengers rather, that are whisked away on this seemingly never-ending train and have to work through their personal traumas or internal conflicts in order to find a way off. Season 1 centers around a girl named Tulip who has to come to terms with her parents' divorce. Season 2 centers around Tulip's reflection, MT, who has escaped the mirror world and is off to live her own life and have her own adventures, who now has to help a new passenger, Jessie, get off the train. Season 3 centers around the two leaders of what is essentially a group of religious fanatics, Grace and Simon, the leaders of the Apex, who are coming to terms with the fact that everything that they think they know about how the train works could all be a lie. And season 4 centers around a pair of best friends who were pushed apart by, societal circumstances and parental expectations, and now have to reconcile with each other and get back together. So first off, what I have to say about this show is, from a creative standpoint, it is a genius idea. The fact that each train car can be, its own unique world, from, the seemingly normal to the impossible, is just, it leaves an unending, string of just creative potential. This world is so amazing to travel through, and it's also so mysterious, and part of the fun of that is sort of making your way across the train and figuring out how all of this works and how each car works and everything like that. No two environments are alike. It feels like every single car is distinct and has a great design to it, and I just really, really love that. They could have so easily just kind of copy-pasted every third, car that they go into has a similar sort of, theme behind it. But they didn't, and I really appreciated that. I absolutely love the animation. I think it's amazing and so atmospheric, and I think it helps you get sucked into this world. And I also really like how it feels very, purposefully set in a certain time frame with how it looks. How you notice little specks on the screen and stuff like that, and everything looks very even though it's very futuristic looking, it is also very, nostalgic looking. Also, from a story structure perspective, the fact that it is, like I said, an anthology-ish show where, you could have a full season dedicated to this one person, and then the next, you could stay in the same location but focus on a completely different person with different issues and everything like that. It also leaves open, to full years worth of story potential and everything like that. Also, because of how, each season is constructed, and because it's so short form and confined and each episode is only 11 minutes, it doesn't waste a single second. There are shows that even, story-driven shows that I like Gravity Falls and The Owl House, where you admittedly could skip a couple episodes and not be lost. Whereas here, every single episode feels important. it's either furthering the mystery of like the train, or it's, you know, adding to the development of the characters. The music as well is very ethereal, and each season feels very distinct, but it all feels like it's part of the same, you know, overarching story. My favorite, if you couldn't tell by the intro, my favorite of the 4 themes is the running away theme. It's just like, I don't know, it just sounds like so like really atmospheric. But I also love the theme that plays at the ending of season 3 because of just how very dark and foreboding it gets. Funny enough, the guy who did the music goes by Chrome Canyon, which is fitting for a show called Infinity Train, but yeah, I think he did a really fantastic job with this. Going book by book, I really love the themes that they tackled in season 1. I think it's very easy to find Tulip annoying because she's a very, like, you know, she starts off very, like, kind of angry and, like, sort of passive-aggressive, I guess. But, you know, she comes from a very realistic place. You know, any child of a divorced family, you know, could have a tendency to, like, lash out and be, you know, like, push people away. But that's also part of why she is on the train, because that's what she has to learn is, you know, she needs to stop running away from her problems and, you know, recognize that, like, you know, her parents' situation was out of her control, and, you know, no matter how it makes her feel, like, it's not her fault, and she needs to just accept that and, you know, make the most of it. I also really like, you know, the reveal with the ending and what it all builds up to with, you know, the whole story with the conductor and how her issues kind of tie in with Tulip's, of how she, you know, experienced some kind of loss and is trying to, you know, correct that, but every time she tries, she ends up, like, failing more and more. I thought that was a really compelling, you know, sort of, like, dichotomy with those two characters. Introducing Mirror Tulip for season 1 and having her be the focus of season 2 also, I thought, was a really clever and interesting choice, because, you know, having someone who is just living on the outside and seeing all the things that you're seeing, but is kind of, like, resentful of you for how you handle them. Like, I don't know, I thought that was pretty interesting. And then to see someone who's had to live someone else's life finally get their freedom and, you know, be able to actually go out on their own and be their own person, you know, I get, it's very, I don't want to say unsubtle, because I feel like, you know, for like a young kid watching this, it could go right over their head, but there are definitely a lot of, you know, allegories to be made with, you know, identity and everything like that, which I think is really cool and important, especially now with all the stuff that's, you know, going on with people, you know, condemning people for wanting to have their own identity. I also really like the relationship that forms between, you know, MT or Lake, as she later goes by, which I also really appreciated. The one, you know, as the series goes on, she's constantly fearing of reflections, because that's how the mirror police can travel through to catch her. The one time she looks in a reflection and doesn't have to worry anymore is, you know, what she decides to name herself off of. I thought that was a really nice touch. But I really like the relationship that forms between Lake and Jesse. I thought they had really great chemistry. I thought they were really fun together. Season 3, I don't think is an unpopular opinion to say, is easily the best. Just in terms of everything, in terms of, you know, storytelling, in terms of the drama, in terms of the character writing, I just think, like, they really poured everything into this 3rd season, and you can clearly tell. Like, I think seeing, you know, these two people who have essentially, you know, made a religion off of how this train works, seeing that get tested and everything like that, and, you know, seeing the different results that come of it was really interesting. And, like, the places that this season goes, you know, there is a lot of shit that, like, you know, I can understand why, like, Cartoon Network was so kind of hesitant about this show, but at the same time, I mean, Steven Universe has done stuff that is, like, you know, bordering on the same sort of things and imagery as this show has, and that was able to go on for 6 seasons and a movie, and this had the rug pulled under it after only 4, which, you know, it's a shame, but maybe they just couldn't handle it, I guess. Season 4, especially after how intense season 3 got, definitely felt like a bit of a step backwards, and I can see why. But, I mean, apparently the creator even said that after, you know, how intense season 3 got, we kind of needed a more laid back and chilled season, which I can appreciate too. And I mean, it is very clearly a prequel, so you get a little bit of a glimpse of like where Amelia was like before the whole conductor shit that happened in season 1. So I feel like that's an interesting touch, and you can kind of see, like, as the season progresses, sort of her, you know, the threads of her arc starting to take shape, which I really appreciated. And the story with the 2 best friends is really sweet. I really love that split screen section at the beginning. I thought that was really well done. Seeing them, like, the fact that this is the first time that 2 people have come on the train at the same time that have the same, like, number was also an interesting touch, and like seeing them kind of have to be there for each other and help each other through their situations, but also realize that they aren't, you know, they're also slightly at fault, was it was a really cool and really interesting sort of conflict for that. Like I said, though, I do understand where people say it's kind of a step backwards, because this is technically the final season, even though there was supposed to be another, like, 4 more, and apparently there was also supposed to be a movie about sort of Amelia's story and her, like, with Hazel or something like that, but all of that got cut, and then obviously the whole HBO Max shit happened, so from that angle, I can understand being a bit disappointed with season 4, but I think when you understand that that wasn't meant to be the end, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if, like, when you know that that wasn't meant to be the end, I don't know if it makes it better or worse, because, like, well, yeah, that wasn't how it was supposed to end, but also this is the ending that you get, so I don't know. I do really genuinely hope that this show gets picked up by another studio, because it is, like, arguably, like, taking aside my bias towards Gravity Falls and how much I love Owl House and everything, Infinity Train is probably one of the best cartoons that I have seen in just every possible aspect, in its themes, in its subject matter, in its writing, in its storytelling, in its characters, and its animation. Everything about it just works, and it's got, like I said at the beginning, it's got so much room for creative potential that it just kind of sucks to, you know, have had the rug pulled out from under it so suddenly. I'm optimistic that at some point down the line, something like, you know, Adult Swim or something like that will pick it up for another season, or hopefully that movie can still get made somehow, especially with how, like, you know, cartoons made for kids have been drifting towards more episodic type of stuff. I don't know if there's, you know, room in that space for Infinity Train, but there's always hoping. There's always hoping. So yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm pretty late to this party, even by this video standards. Like, chances are if you're watching this, you've already seen all of Infinity Train and you just want my thoughts on it. But if for some reason you're watching this for the first time and you haven't checked out Infinity Train, it's available for purchase on all platforms. Go watch it, get this thing trending again. That's the other thing, is in the height of the whole, like, HBO Max purge, when Infinity Train was taken off the service, you know, the amount of people, like, scrambling to buy it on, like, iTunes and YouTube and everything like that, and Google Play, it got it, like, trending for a bit as, like, the most purchased show on the platform of all time. So if we can keep doing that, like, hopefully that will coerce the, like, networks and everything to bring the show back and, like, put it on another platform and everything like that. But yeah, long story short, I fucking love this show. It's one of my new favorite cartoons that I've watched. And I hope that it continues, but if it doesn't, then I'm really happy with what we got. So going to my ranking for all 4 seasons of Infinity Train, I would have to give it a 5 out of 5. But anyway, that does it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I apologize again that it took so long. If you are only subscribed for this, I give you permission to unsubscribe. But if you like the rest of the videos that you saw from me over the past 3 months, then consider sticking around because I've got more coming up very soon. So until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on what I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching.